Hi there. I've just finished playing Pokémon Violet for the second time, and I've formed some thoughts as to what I liked about the games, but more importantly, how I think they could be improved. There are 5 main areas where the games could be greatly improved that aren't related to the performance of the games. They don't run well objectively, they're very choppy and glitchy and messy, but I don't think that Nintendo is going to fix them at this point, and thus it's not really that useful to sit there and complain about that. These are genuinely creative and fun Pokemon games with a lot to offer, and I've thoroughly enjoyed playing them. For this video, I'm sticking to talking solely about the base game here, as not everyone has the extra cash to purchase DLC after paying for the game initially. First up, I would love it if the games went full tilt on the open world aspect by adding level scaling. Level scaling has been implemented to great effect in fan works such as Pokémon Crystal Clear, and I think it would be a good fit for the open world map of Scarlet and Violet. Given the relative lack of guardrails in the map, players are free to explore where they'd like to. I think it would be cool if players also had a genuine choice in choosing which direction they want to go in. I think as they are, the games offer the prospect of a unique path, but the lack of level scaling holds it back. It's a relatively simple change to make in my view. For example, Pokémon Crystal Clear ties the level of opposing trainers to the number of badges that the player currently has. I think this would improve the game a lot and make a much more rounded and fulsome playing experience. Second change, non-DLC post-game map additions. I know that the DLCs add post-game map additions, but I'm explicitly not talking about those. Now, don't get me wrong, the map is great and I think it's one of the best aspects of these games. But it would be better if the post-game involved unlocking a further section of the map for exploration once the player has beaten the Pokemon League. This has been a very positively received aspect of past Pokemon games, and it helps to avoid the feeling that the games are barren or empty once the player has finished the main storyline. I'm thinking of Pokemon Platinum's Battle Frontier and the battle area that's left in that game. That's excellent, and I think something similar for Scarlet and Violet would be great. Third change. I wish there was a battle facility included in the games. I don't really care whether this would be just a battle tower or even a fully fledged battle frontier, but something would go a long way. Scarlet and Violet underemphasize battling in this generation compared to previous games, and players who are not into competitive Pokemon have little opportunity to try out new strategies, Pokemon, and moves in a genuinely challenging environment. Don't get me wrong, the Academy Ace tournament is nice, but it's a far cry from the level of strategic play that's been included in previous battle facilities. I've never even been that into the battle tower or anything, but I found myself missing it in my previous 2 playthroughs. The fourth change I would make is to improve the Terra raid battles. I found the raid battles to be an interesting inclusion, but found the format a little bit confusing and also frustrating. They aren't challenging in a way that is fun, and the player receives little information in-game about how they're meant to function. I appreciate that they tried to make them feel a little bit more dynamic by including aspects like the status clearing aspects of the battle and the time limit, but ultimately the lower star challenges feel like a chore, and the 5-star and up ones feel like a hard chore. These could be improved. The last change I'd like to make is to the Pokédex system and the methods available for completing it. Now, I know Nintendo's never going to make it so there aren't version exclusives. That's just kind of a given at this point. And my solution that I propose is maybe a little bit controversial, but I'd like it if they brought back a GTS-like system for trading Pokemon. Now, I can hear people complaining already, but for people like myself, playing Pokemon is mostly a single-player activity, and in that context, completing the Pokédex can be extremely challenging. It would be a lot more fun to trade Pokemon using a marketplace to complete the Pokédex than the options currently available to players. These can include generating Pokemon from websites and then trading them through Twitch streams and the like. Not a particularly fun way to do it, in my opinion. I think it would just be better if there was a trade system, even if it's not a perfect system. These are the 5 most substantive changes I would make to the games. Now, obviously I would love it if they just fixed the games so they ran properly, and there's a few other minor tweaks here and there that I'd make, but ultimately I think these are solid games. Let me know what you would change about Scarlet and Violet to improve them, and thanks for watching.